So, I just watched the very first episode of Kamen Rider from 1971, and oh boy was that an experience to watch. I've seen older tokusatsu before. Well, the oldest I've ever seen is clips online when you watch compilations, and I've watched Zyuranger from start to finish. But this is much older, and I've never seen the OG original Kamen Rider before. I've seen the opening and compilations, like I mentioned earlier, but watching the very first episode from start to finish was quite an experience, I gotta admit, and I had a lot of fun watching it. I was hooked. I was hooked on episode 1, and I knew I was going to get hooked on episode 1, but by the time I got to the end of the episode, I was completely invested, and I want to see where this goes next. So I'll quickly fill you guys in on how this came available for streaming services. So last week, a bunch of people in the community found out that Kamen Rider was on Tubi TV and Shout Factory's website. And once it got out there, the news was out there, Shout Factory was like, shit, we gotta take this down. This wasn't supposed to reveal early, so quickly, Shout Factory and Tubi TV, they swept it all under the rug, they hid it from everyone, acting like nothing was going on, and a lot of people were suspicious, but they were catching on with what was actually happening. And a couple of hours ago, or later today, or earlier today, Shout Factory revealed their brand new streaming services, or their brand new streaming channel called Tokusatsu TV, or Tokusatsu, and it was a really fun ad, or really fun introduction they had Jason Navi from Power Rangers narrate what's going on, saying, you're going to be getting Super Sentai, you're going to get Ultraman, you're going to get Kamen Rider, you're going to get Kaiju stuff, you're going to get Power Morphicon stuff. It sounds like this dedicated channel is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I'm really interested to see what they'll put on there, because we've got the very first Kamen Rider on there, and I'm hoping with more Super Sentai going on there, you'll see other Super Sentai series past Hurricane Ranger and past the original Kamen Rider, because a lot of people are saying, hey, we got Kamen Rider, the first Kamen Rider, can we see other Kamen Riders? And I just want to say this before we get into the review. If you want to see more Kamen Riders on the streaming service, support it, watch it, and tell Shout Factory on social media TV that you would like more of this and you're really enjoying it. But be nice about it. Don't be a dick about it. But tell them that you're enjoying the new streaming service and you would like to see more of it, because if this does well, we could have stuff like Tokusatsu, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Kaiju, and stuff like that legally available to stream in English-speaking countries, and that'd be really great to see. So support the official release and tell the people who are running this that you would like to see more. Now, there's one more thing I will say before I get into the review. Whatever remasters they're using, I think they're using the Blu-ray release of Kamen Rider that got released like 7 years ago. The quality of this video looks so good for in the 70s. I think Kamen Rider was remastered on Blu-ray, and the remasters I think they're using look so good. This looks so clean and crisp for something that was in the 70s. And I gotta say, props to Shout Factory if you are using the Blu-ray remasters, because this looks amazing. So let's take it from the top. The episode opens up with Takeshi Hongo practicing on his motorbike. And I gotta admit, this is like I said, this is really old. This is from the 70s, early 70s to be precise, and there's a lot of weird camera tricks that they do when they do this opening shot of him on the bike. Like, you see several repeated shots of him zooming by, and one of the shots they do, the camera is upside down. They flipped it for some reason, which I don't know why. It's a weird style choice, but I guess it implies that he's going really, really fast or someone's watching him. But I don't know. So Takeshi is doing some motorbike practicing, and then he runs into some Shocker grunts and decides to follow him. But as he follows him, he is kidnapped by Shocker and he is transported onto their ship, where he's experimented and turned into a cyborg. And apparently he's been experimented on for a month, and like, I gotta admit, when he's being experimented on, the atmosphere and the set design is really creepy like. And the thing with old Super Sentai or Japanese productions, they usually have a lot of silence, and it'll be the sound effects or the ambience and the set noises being that background noise. I mean, if you hear music, it's going to be setting the mood, but there's not a lot of music in this episode, and when you do hear it, it's usually setting the mood. But I gotta love the old style of this Japanese music. I gotta love this old style of music that Japanese do for the TV show, where it's just trumpets and horns. If you watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z, like back in the day with the Kikuchi score and stuff like that, that will remind you of that, where the old Kamen Rider score comes from, because you hear a lot of trumpets and horns, and I really do enjoy that kind of music where it sets the tone. So Takeshi is on the ship, he's getting experimented on, and someone blows up the generator. We don't know who, but we find out that he runs into his old sensei, Dr. What's his name? I'm looking at the wiki now to get a reminder. Midokawa. That's his name. I probably butchered that name, but he basically escapes with his professor, and they escape down to Earth. They're chased by Shocker, and as they're ambushed, you see him turn into Kamen Rider. You don't see the henshin. You just see him roll down the hill as they're blasted, and then he jumps off the cliff and fights off a bunch of grunts. So you don't see the very first henshin, but I gotta admit, I do like the old Kamen Rider suit. It's very basic, it's very clean, it's very for its time, it's very iconic, very, very iconic, and I gotta like it. And as for the fighting style, like I said, it's very 70s. You're probably going to hear me saying that a lot. They don't do a lot of crazy stunts. It's just a lot of bunch of kicks and flips in the first episode, but they knock them away because it's for its time. They probably didn't have many stunt doubles and stuff like that. But either way, the fighting was good for its time, I will admit, because they're doing a lot of crazy stuff in this first episode. While this is all going on, we've got the professor's daughter, Ruruko. Sorry if I butchered that name there. I'm not the best at pronouncing Japanese names. So she feels the presence of a stalker, because when they capture the professor, they say, we're gonna kill your daughter. And he's like, oh no, don't do that. And then they cut away after the commercial break to the school, where you see the daughter says, I'm being followed, and then some mystery man shows up and says, we know where your father is, and we're going to take you there. But because it feels like she's being followed, they do this really good switcheroo where they switch clothes with Ruruko's friend, and they take them to the cafe. While after that transition, you see Ruruko driving to where her father is at the warehouse, and she runs into Takeshi and the professor having an argument, and she mistakes it for a heated argument. So she walks in at the wrong moment, because as Hongo or Takeshi has his back turned, you see the professor getting strangled by the spider's web. And I gotta admit, this effect, because like I said, everything's for its time, it's very 70s, they're probably not the best of camera transitions and stuff like that with whoever worked on it. I'm pretty sure they had a really good director working on it, but it's very for its time where you see some stuff out of place. So Spider-Man strangles the professor, and the web chokes him to death. And as he's being choked and Takeshi's trying to get a pulse and figure out what's going on, you see a bit of the web just fall down and land past the camera, which got a laugh out of me, because it's just out of nowhere, because it's still the silk thread from being hanged above, so it must have felt falling down in the next scene that they filmed. But either way, they got a laugh out of me. So Takeshi and the Spider-Man fight. He does the henshin. It's not a fleshy henshin. He rides really fast on the bike and transforms. I don't know if that's the henshin that he does, but that's how he transforms in the first episode. And then you get the fight between Takeshi and the Spider-Man, or Kamen Rider and the Spider-Man. And this is a really, really good fight. I really do like this fight, because they get a bit into a scuffle, and Kamen Rider defeats it. But I gotta admit, this fight was fun, because they're knocking each other around, they're kicking ass. The Spider-Man tries escaping, and he uses his giant web to escape, or his tongue, or something to escape. And as he's climbing up the parry, or the wall of the quarry, is doing a bunch of jump cuts to show that he's climbing up faster, and that made me laugh, because like I said, for its time, like, you see all these old camera tricks that they used, and they are really smart, but how they do them, it does get a laugh out of me, because I did study film back in the day. So this was the first episode of Kamen Rider. So the episode ends with Ruruko going home, but Takeshi can't face her because she thinks that she's the one that caused her father's death. So we're getting that mistaken identity where she thinks he's the killer all along, and a few episodes later he's probably going to have to explain himself. But anyway guys, that's my review of Kamen Rider Episode 1. I had a lot of fun watching it. I'm definitely invested to keep on watching it as I binge watch it on Shout Factory TV. I don't know if I'll do reviews for all the 98 episodes. I'm definitely going to look up the ones that I need to talk about as I binge through them, because there's 98 episodes. I'm not going to do 98 reviews of the very first Kamen Rider. That'd be a bit too much for me. But either way, I'm definitely invested to keep on watching. But if I miss any episodes, or there's any episodes you want me to check out from this season, I'll definitely give them a watch, that's for sure. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see more reviews like this, tell me in the comment section down below, and definitely leave a like. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!